Hello guys and girls, welcome to another video of Automotive Engineers Corner. So as always, I wrote you some mind map, and I already recorded the video, but unfortunately something happened and mid of the video it stopped to recording. So I already have my paper. I will just discover one point one after the other. So today the topic is VDA 6.3 book. VDA 6.3, that means this is the auditing topic, and I will now start a video series about how to audit a supplier. So VDA 6.3 is a book that I will explain as well in another videos. Today I will just explain you the structure about this book, what are the chapters. But anyway, a VDA 6.3 book is a book that is structurizing around 60 questions, 60 audit questions in several chapters, to know what questions to ask the supplier, your supplier, to know that your supplier is able to produce for you. It's used in automotive industry, is very detailed, but other industries are doing it as well. So VDA 6.3 book, it's containing few chapters. They are called process. They are called process elements. So the first process element, first chapter that I want to talk to you about is the P2. And P2 is the project management. What does it mean? That means if you have a supplier, you want to check with them, are they actually able to do projects with you? Your complex projects, it will be for a few years maybe. So you need to be sure, you need to ask some questions, you need to get some answers. Do they have project management organization? Do they have enough project managers, and are they skilled enough to work on your project? So such kind of questions you ask you will find the questions in the P2 chapter of the VDA 6.3 book. The next two chapters I will not explain now, P3 and P4. They are not so important from my perspective in this moment, so I will skip them. The important chapter, the next one, is the P5, supplier management. What does it mean? You want to be sure that your supplier is managing your sub-suppliers well. So for example, do they have an approved supplier list? Does your supplier have some target agreements, some backup suppliers, dual sourcing, and so on? What certifications do your supplier require from his suppliers? So P5 is a set of chapter P5 is the section of the VDA 6.3 book that is having questions about how your supplier is dealing with their suppliers. Next point is the bigger one, or the biggest one actually in this process audit methodology, is the production processes. So actually during the audit you go to the production, to the factory, to the production facility, to the halls, and you check how actually physically the production processes are realized. And here you have sub-chapters that are like P6.1 to 6.6, 6 sub-chapters, and the chapters are first, the P6.1 is talking about, or has the questions about, hey, actually what is the input to this process? What means input? Do they have incoming inspection? How do they keep traceability of the components? Is the packaging correct? On the machines, do they have identified boxes? Do they know what they do in the input of the process? So the next point, you go and see how. So how, that means what control plan do they have? What process flowcharts do they have? What documentations do they have to manage the critical characteristics of your product. So during production of your product, do they have actually enough knowledge and enough documentation to make sure that your critical characteristics of your product are correctly documented? As well, the changes, if you have any changes, if you want to change from them, how do they manage the change? It's very super important to know how do they document their process. Next point, 6.3 is who. So, which means is the personnel of the supplier enough? Is the personnel enough certified, enough trained? Do they have qualification metrics? And so on and so on. These kind of questions are asked in the 6.3 chapter. 6.4. This is the sub-chapter of P6, of Process Element 6, which means what does it mean? Which machinery, which equipment, what workstations are there? Are they actually suitable for my product, for the production? Are they automated? Are they manual? Is the maintenance done correctly? Are they preventive maintenance plans? Do they have enough? Spare parts? As well, what's the measuring equipment? Because if they measure my part, do they measure it with the calibrated equipment, and so on? So this is the 6.4. With what do they produce my product? 6.5 is the efficiency, so the KPIs of the process. Do they have any KPIs? Do they manage do they know how to do KPIs? Do they have, for example, scrap management or scrap statistics? How do they know that they do the right job, or are there some KPIs to monitor that they know they need to improve something? So this is about 6.5, the efficiency of the process. How does the supplier manage their KPIs? And KPIs, key performance indicators, of course. The last point is the output. That means when they already produced all your products, they put it already in the boxes. Are the boxes relevant? Did they agree with you the packaging? Is all the identification needed that you need when they make a shipment to you? Do they have enough? Do they issue the correct certificates that you need? Everything, such questions are in the output questions of the process output. So you can ask physically you are there and you check, are the pallets correctly packaged? Is the documentation on the pallets? Are all the certificates, for example, certificates of conformity, are they issued? Are they signed? This is the output of the process that you will get as a customer when they deliver it to you. And the last point of the VDA 6.3 book, the last chapter, is P7, customer care. Customer care, that means there are several questions about, is the supplier able to work with you actually as a client? So do they have a personnel that is responsible for daily business, like daily customer claims? If I have a claim, do they have a quality guy who will answer me and who will react to my customer claim? Do they have a daily business on the level of daily orders? If I have some orders, if I have changes in the orders, is there somebody that can answer me correctly, answer me quickly, and organize the production for me, organize the deliveries? So customer care, there are several questions here where you can ask to be sure that your supplier is able to, for many years as well, is able to work with you as a client in an efficient and good way. So this is the general overview of the chapters of VDA 6.3 book. Today is 20th of May 2026, and I will meet you in the next video when I will explain more about each chapter. I will make some more videos about this, and actually I will explain as well what actually is the VDA 6.3 book, why is it so important, and we will see it in the next videos. Until this time, Take care and see you next time. Cheers. Bye.